The research outpost at Torlin Ridge was usually quiet enough to hear the wind taste the stones. Humans called it wind whistling, but to Lyra, the sound carried flavor-cool mineral, faint copper, and the distant musk of grazing shale. Beasts, or people, the Vreth, perceived sense the way humans perceived color, richly, endlessly, and with instinct braided into every breath. And this morning, something strange hung in the air. Not strange sweet, too sweet. Lyra paused halfway. Up the ridge path, her taloned hands curling slightly as her chest tightened. A ribbon of scent drifted from the metal gate ahead, human scent. She had smelled it before during trade meets, blunt and warm like sun-heated cloth. But this had weight. It slid down her throat like smoke dipped in honey. She swallowed. Hard, Lyra? The guard, her cousin, Hesh glanced back at her. You good? You're walking like your joints forgot what direction is? She waved him off, pretending her vision wasn't suddenly blooming with halos of shimmering green. Just wind, she muttered. Too strong today. But the sweet scent only thickened, and with every breath, her pulse began to change. Drumming. Harder, deeper, as if responding to a quiet drumbeat layered beneath the world. Hesh keyed the gate open. Humans arrived early. Our tech officer is already inside the labs, so brace for, his voice melted away. Because the moment Lyra stepped across the threshold, the scent hit her full force. A wave of warmth rolled across her skin, traveling from her jaw to her lungs to the pit of her stomach. Something ancient inside her flared awake, the way dormant coals awaken beneath a sudden gust. Her knees buckled. Lyra. Hesh caught her by the arm. Hey, stay with me. Her skin had begun to glow faintly, but unmistakably fine threads of luminescent blue rising beneath her scales. She clamped a hand over her mouth, but the glow only intensified, crawling, up her neck like living biolite. No, she whispered. Not here, not now, not from this, not from a human scent. Heat cycle, Hesh hissed under his breath, panic sneaking into his tone. Lyra couldn't answer. Her throat was tight, too tight. Her species' heat cycles were rare only once every 5 or 6 cycles of their moons. And they never, ever triggered without preparation rituals. Certainly never triggered by the mere smell of something, but the scent in the air, she could feel it pulling at her, tugging at instincts buried so deep she had thought them theoretical. Relics from older evolutionary branches. Take me to a containment chamber, she rasped. Now. Hesh nodded, supporting her weight as he hurried her down the eastern corridor. Her breath hitched again, then again, the warmth spreading terrifyingly fast. Her claws tingled. Her bones felt like they were being rewritten by invisible. Hands faster, she thought, dizzy, accelerating. They reached the door, but before Hesh could activate the lock, humans stepped into the hall. Oh, sorry, the man said, hands up in reflexive politeness. Didn't mean to block the... His sentence dissolved when he saw Lyra nearly collapsing. Is she hurt? His voice hit her like a second scent. She choked on air. The glow rushing under her skin flared like a pulse of lightning. Her pupils contracted sharply, and she felt a pulling sensation in her chest, as if a tether had snapped taut between their bodies without her permission. The human blinked. Whoa. Her eyes just did. They always do that. Tech officer. Rowan Hesh ground out. It would be great if you could stand over there. Farther, farther. No farther. Rowan stepped back, palms lifted. Right. Sorry. Didn't mean to do anything. Lyra's hands trembled violently. The scent, radiating from Himmerone, was the exact one she had inhaled outside. She didn't know how she knew that. But the knowledge was as plain as daylight. It wasn't any human scent. It was his. The warmth curling through her wasn't random. Her body was responding to him, her vision blurred at the edges, filling with luminous patterns she'd only ever seen in archived. Biological scans markers of a triggered and uncontrolled heat shift. Put me inside, she whispered. Now, Hesh ushered her into the containment chamber, sealed the door, and slapped the emergency barrier on. The walls shimmered with a soft metallic hum, one-way transparent.
Ow.
Lyra sank to her knees as the heat sweeping through her flared into something almost molten. Her scales shifted, literally shifted, tiny plates rearranging, widening, reshaping. Her tail trembled. Her lungs expanded painfully. Now the chamber lights flickered as her bioluminescent veins brightened. Her body was changing faster than she could understand. Her species' heat cycle was normally gentle. An extended period of heightened sensitivity and instinctual bonding behavior. But this was like her body had decided to sprint through every stage at once. Outside, she heard Rowan's voice. "I didn't do anything, did I? I just walked past. It's not your fault," Hesh said. She inhaled something that triggered a heat surge. What something? A scent. There was a pause. Then Rowan's voice, incredulous. "My scent triggered this." Lyra wanted to sink straight into the floor. Humiliation coiled round her like a second heartbeat, her body glowing as if she'd swallowed the auroras. The trembling, the shifting scales. The uncontrollable cycle triggered by something as absurd as the smell of a human who had probably just woken up and had breakfast. But beneath the embarrassment, a deeper question loomed. Why him? Why specifically him? Evolution didn't roll dice. The warmth in her chest pulsed again, and she gasped, clutching the chamber floor as her vision wavered in shimmering waves. Her body was still changing, muscle density increasing, her dorsal plates adjusting, preparing for what? A quiet chime sounded. Rowan's voice again, softer this time. "Lyra, can you hear me?" She lifted her head with effort. He was kneeling just outside the transparent barrier, eyes steady, not fearful, but concerned. "I'm told you're going through something intense," he said gently. "I don't want to cause trouble. Do you want me to leave the floor entirely?" Swallowed hard, her body responded the moment he spoken. Unbearable rush of heat spiraling through her bloodstream. Leave. Yes. No. Maybe. Her instincts were split sharply down the center, half screaming for space, and the other half reaching out like vines seeking his warmth. "I don't know," she admitted. Her voice shook like loose crystals in a storm. Rowan exhaled slowly. "Okay, then I'll just stay right here." He set his hand against the barrier. Not touching her, never that, but offering presence. "Tell me what you need." Figures. A human would ask that so plainly. Lyra laughed under her breath, though it came out cracked. "I don't know what I need. My body is moving faster than my thoughts." Her scales shifted again, this time with a sharper snap. Winced. Rowan flinched. That didn't sound comfortable. "It's not." She sucked a breath. "My species doesn't transform like this unless the cycle is deliberately initiated. This is like falling into a storm without warning, triggered by scent." Rowan asked quietly. She forced herself to meet his gaze. "By your scent." He didn't blush, but his eyebrows lifted in a complicated expression, part astonishment, part guilt, part something else. "Then tell me how I can make this easier," he said. The earnestness in his voice was almost grounding. A weight against the dizzying wildness inside her. Her instincts answered before her rational mind could catch up. "Stay where I can sense you," she whispered, "but don't come closer." The words came out raw, almost painful. "If you get closer, I don't know what I'll do." Rowan nodded once. "Then I'll stay right here." Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time thinned into strange threads. Lyra's transformation slowed. Gradually, her dorsal plates settled into a new configurations, leaker, sharper. Her bioluminescent veins dimmed into their usual soft pulse. Her claws lengthened slightly, then locked into place. Eventually, the heat receded enough for her breath to ease. Rowan was still outside the barrier, watching over her with the patience of someone who had decided not to blink until the danger passed. "You're stabilizing," he said, relief softening his voice. "Colors going back to normal." Lyra lowered her head to the cool floor, exhausted but no longer trembling. "Thank you," she murmured, "for staying." "Of course," he hesitated. "So, what happens now?" She closed her eyes. "I need to run tests," she said. "We need to understand why your scent triggered my cycle and," he prompted softly. Her newly sharpened instincts whispered the truth like a secret through a crack in a door. And I need to understand why my body reacted not just to any human, but to you? She exhaled slowly. And, she said aloud, I need to know if this was an accident or something deeper. Rowan didn't retreat. He didn't joke, didn't fidget. He simply nodded steady, accepting. I'll be here when. You're ready? And though the heat had faded, something else lingered in awareness, threading between them like a quiet bridge. Invisible yet impossibly present. Not instinct, not accident. Something older, and the way Lyra's pulse answered. It made her wonder whether this transformation was only the beginning,